Hey, welcome everybody to the All Heat team call at the end of September, just gearing up for Indy. How many are ready for Indy? Ooh, that's like make your hands wave, get excited, right? Because that's conference time and we're just about there. And I'm excited for this call tonight, number one, because I've known Ellen for a while and she's just the best and you guys are going to fall in love with her like we all have. For those of you that don't know me, this is Nikki Cotton. Chris and I sponsor this call every week for our whole Heat team. And we are 100 club members. And let's see, if I could just say one sentence about what this Juice Plus business has meant for us is it's definitely not a merry-go-round. It's definitely the roller coaster. And even though in real life I don't like the roller coaster, I love it in this business. I love the highs. I love the lows. I love working it all out. The highs, of course, are, oh my gosh, getting to share with people and helping them change their health picture and their wealth picture. And the lows are also the people when they don't say yes to their health and to their wealth. But that's okay, because after 26 years, Chris and I really have figured out how to dust that off and continue talking to people. And what Ellen is going to be talking about tonight is the gateway to our whole business. Oh, there's Chris. Chris, come on in. Say hello. Do a quick thing.
Hello. Hi, Ellen.
Look how the colors look together. Okay. So just really quickly about Ellen, I just want to share a little bit about who she is. Number one, she loves the outdoors. She loves hiking and backpacking and camping and rafting and skiing. And some of the stuff that she's done that I think is really amazing is she's done fundraisers for MS and cancer, and I'm assuming they are part of cycling events and the other outdoor things that you love, Ellen. And this is interesting. I would never peg you for an electrical design engineer. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. And I have to say one last thing is that the reason that she does this business is she loves helping people, especially her three beautiful boys. So Ellen, Chris and I have known you for quite some time, and just, it's again, one of those things where we got the spark happened between us. We've had great conversations and kind of fell in love with each other. And so I'm going to just let you take this on. Ellen is also a 50 club. So I'm going to spotlight you, Ellen, and turn this whole thing over to you. And here we, whoops, that wasn't it. Here we go.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Nikki. Thank you for such a fabulous introduction. And gosh, this is really exciting because I didn't realize how many of your team I've also developed relationships with. So it's really fun to see so many familiar faces on this call.
Hold on. Hang on. You're muted. Hold on. Can you unmute yourself?
Yep. Okay.
I muted everybody and I forgot to tell you that. Okay. So you stopped at the sentence, you know all over. You stopped at the sentence, you know our team.
Just really fun and exciting to see so many familiar faces on your team call. And I didn't realize, like I've developed a great relationship with you and Chris over the years, I've developed great sideline relationships with so many people on your team. So this is really fun. And I just, thank you and Chris for inviting me to come share and feel super honored to be part of this. So let me get started. I'm going to share my screen here. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this. All right, so as Nikki mentioned, I have three beautiful boys. These are my three boys. They just turned 24, 22, and 19, and that's a shocker to me. I started my Juice Plus business 14 years ago when they were just 9, 7, and 4, so about 14 and a half years ago. And gosh, when I think about that 14-year journey, I'm really overwhelmed with gratitude for what this business has provided me, and especially when it comes to do with my family. So the first thing is that this business introduced me to just such a fun, rewarding community of people. So many of you that I know, love, and know, and have learned to have. Hang on 1 second, I'm getting a message from somebody. Oh, so handsome. Yes, aren't they adorable? That's cute, Nikki. But so many of you that I've come to just love and know and be great sideline buddies with. So that's the first thing that this business gave me, was that community. And then the second thing is that it helped me develop some time freedom, right? Before I knew it, I was dreaming and I was developing my future so that I had time freedom to be the school room mom and to attend all of my boys' sports and activities. Nikki shared with you that I was an electrical design engineer with Lockheed Martin before starting Juice Plus, and I was moving fast up that corporate totem pole toward VP. But with that came a lot of frustration and a lot of tears and a lot of anxiety over things that I was missing with my kids. And there was one day that was sort of where I had to draw a line in the sand, and it was where one of my kids was sick and I had to go into work. And my husband and I fought over who had to stay home with the kids. And prior to that, we used to fight over who got to stay home with the kids. And that day when we fought over who had to stay home, it absolutely broke my heart. So as a parent, if you've ever been in that place, you know exactly how I was feeling. And then with this business, and learning to dream, I was able to develop some financial freedom. And that allowed me to dream even bigger so that I could support these 3 beautiful boys in some of their absolutely crazy, busy hobbies and support them in pursuing their dreams. So for those of you who do have kids, you know that the older they get, the more expensive their hobbies and their schools. And especially when you have 2 in college, like I do right now. And I've had that. I had that before for several overlapping years, and now we have that again this year. And that's when those are the times that I really appreciate the flexibility of the Juice Plus business, because there's no income ceiling here, right? Like you really truly can design what you want out of this business. And unlike Lockheed Martin, if I had stayed with my engineering career, I really would have had an income ceiling, and there would have been a lot of things, a lot of passions and dreams, myself, my family, my boys, that we may not have been able to pursue. But what I want you to know is that this is where it all started. It actually started because I wanted a little extra money to pay for my Juice Plus and to have a little cushion for Starbucks and new shoes. So that's where it started for me, okay? But look where I am now. I'm 14 years into the business, and I've designed the life of my dreams where I'm working part-time hours, but I've replaced my engineering income. I'm making a full-time income, and I have full-time benefits. And that's the benefit of getting to the top of our marketing plan. And not all of you on this team, on this call right now, likely not all of you have a vision to be an NMD, right? There may be a few of you who are looking to make some Starbucks and shoe money just like I did. Just know that you are in the right place at the right time. But also be open to the possibility that your dreams and your goals for this business might change, much like mine did. Okay, so to get the kind of income that could support your family, that, maybe you could leave the job you have right now. Maybe you have a job you're not satisfied with, or maybe you have a job that you love, but you don't like the hours, or maybe you have a job that you're not so happy with, but you're stuck there because of the benefits package, right? The medical benefits it provides your family, right? How do you create that kind of income that I've been able to, so that you can design that life of your dreams and make this, make Juice Plus your plan A, okay? So how do you design that kind of an income? Well, let's talk about that. What does that take? It takes some work and it takes some commitment, right? It takes growth, and it really takes duplication on your team. And I think that that's one of the biggest pieces that people struggle with as they're building their Juice Plus businesses, is that duplication. So let's talk about how you can create that duplication and how you can create that dream paycheck. And the way you do that is with one of the foundational pieces of our marketing plan, and that's the qualified business. All right, so what is a qualified business? A qualified business in our marketing plan is a business at the virtual franchisee level or higher that has a minimum of 1,000 paid PVC points flowing through your business every month. Okay, so why would you want to qualify? Why would that be important to have that 1,000 points flowing through your business every month? Because you will earn, okay, this first line right here, this is the biggest piece. When you have a qualified business, you'll earn a 5% bonus, so an extra 5% bonus through 5 generations on your team who are at the DD level or higher. Now, that's a really big deal because surprisingly, that 5%, it doesn't sound like a lot, does it? But that 5% quickly becomes the biggest part of your paycheck. And it's one of the things that makes our business model so unique, especially this 5-generation piece, which I'm going to show you a little bit later. It also maximizes your efforts to earn. Because it puts you in a position to optimize your paycheck and to help other people on your team do the same thing. It sets the example and the pace for your team because your team will follow you. You guys have probably heard that. Well, guess what? It's true. Your team will follow you. And it puts you on the road to the top positions like National Marketing Director, where you can earn those benefits that are at the top level, like the medical benefits that I just mentioned. Okay, so let's start by let's look at a real big picture, a big picture summary of our marketing plan so that I can show you where qualifying your business comes into play. All right, so you guys are all familiar with this, right? There are 7 levels in our virtual franchise model. And then the top 3, these top 3, Senior Sales Coordinator, Q, and NMD, are the leadership positions. And that's where you get a lot of really nice, fun, enticing benefits. My favorite right now is the family tuition, right here, the family tuition. When all 3 of my boys are done with their undergrad, our family will have received over $21,000 from the Juice Plus company in tuition reimbursement. And that's just undergrad. So if any of them choose to go to grad school, that $21,000 that'll be even higher. And that's my favorite part right now. It pays for their books, pays for a lot of their extra expenses. We love that piece. So maybe you know that you want to be a national marketing director making 6 or 7 figures, right? Maybe you already know that. Maybe you know that you just want to make a few $1,000s a month to make a mortgage payment or a private school payment. Or maybe like me, you just want to make a little extra guilt-free spending money, your Starbucks and shoe money. But here's what's really neat about our marketing plan. No matter what your goal is, everyone starts right here as a distributor making retail sales profit. And no matter what your goal is, what we want to do is help you have the best income experience possible. And the way that we know how to do that, right? Whether you want to make a couple $100s a month, a couple thousand, or you want two commas in your paycheck, right? No matter where you are, we can help you have the best income experience possible by helping you fast track to sales coordinator as quickly as possible. Now, most of you are probably familiar with the fast track to sales coordinator and how to get there. If you're newer to our team, then you might not be familiar with that yet, but the person working with you will help you. What they're going to do is they're going to point you to the mission-driven model, and you can even go there yourself. Go to our mission-driven model. The best place to go is the website, missiondrivenmodel.info, and then go to the Getting Started Fast Track section, and just watch those videos and become familiar with all of the steps in the Fast Track. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to focus right here on this sweet spot, okay? We're going to focus on virtual franchisee, because once you've achieved the virtual franchisee position, you're eligible that's when you become eligible to qualify your business every month for the rest of your Juice Plus career. And what do you get for qualifying your business? Remember that 5%, tuck that kind of in the back of your head, that 5%. Okay. So it's a super, super big deal. So where do those 1,000 points come from? All right. If you have 1,000 points running through your business, do you remember I mentioned that a few slides ago? 1,000 points running through your business every month, then you have a qualified business. They come from your own and your family's orders. They come from your preferred customer orders. They come from your new distributor's orders and your direct distributor orders. And every month, the computer actually looks at which customers billed that month. So it'll calculate it throughout the month. You'll see the number growing throughout the month as customers are billed. And at the end of the month, the computer at corporate will calculate the total paid PVC on your team from all of these people, right? All of these people on your team, the total paid PVC. And if you have 1,000 or more points at the end of the business month, you have a qualified business. All right, well, what happens if you have more than 1,000 points? Well, the bonus is that if you have more than 1,000 points in any given month, the excess goes into a bank account, which is a safety net for you to draw from if you ever need it. And that safety net, I can't tell you how important that is. You can hold up to 1,000 points in that safety net, so the equivalent of an entire month of qualification, right? Hold up to 1,000 points excess in there, and you want to, okay? You hope that you never need to draw from it, but you never know what life might toss you, any given month or year. So build that safety net up to an excess of 1,000 points as quickly as possible. Okay, so on our team, we take it a few steps further. We take that concept of a qualified business a few steps further, and we teach 3 levels of qualifying your business. So level 1 is what we just talked about, where you're qualifying your business with a minimum of 1,000 points every month, and that's generated, again, it's generated by you, your new distributors, and your direct distributors. Then level 2 is what we call a customer qualified business, or sometimes we refer to it as a self-qualified business. And that's when you qualify your business with the points from your customer base only. So we're not counting the points from your distributors or your direct distributors, but you're getting to 1,000 with just your own customers. And then level 3 is when you purposefully build your customer base so that your qualification total is 1,600 points or more. So you have enough customers in your business that you don't just get to 1,000 with your own customers, you actually get to 1,600 with your own customers. All right, so let's look at those 3 different levels, and let's look at why we teach that, because you're going to start with level 1, right, and then progress to level 2, and then push on towards level 3. But what does that look like in terms of numbers of orders and then in terms of income? All right, so before I get started with this, I'm going to make just a couple disclaimers. Okay, first one is I'm going to use the trio of capsules as an example, and I'm going to assume that all of the orders we're talking about are installment orders, right? So no pay in fulls, just installments. And then the second is I'm going to throw out, we're going to dig in the next couple slides, maybe the next 10 slides, into a lot of numbers, and I'm going to throw those out really fast. If this is Greek to you, don't worry about it. You don't have to learn this. You don't have to know it. It's something that you will learn over time as you move up our marketing plan. What I want you to do is just kind of sit back and take it all in and look for the big picture of what I'm going to show you in a couple of slides. Okay, so remember those 3 levels. Okay, so here's the 3 levels, level 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so at level 1, you're qualifying your business with some help from your team, right? And you need how many points? You need 1,000 points with you and your team, right? So we know, okay, I've calculated this, so you don't need to, and you don't need to worry how I got there. But I know that if you had 24 trio customers on your team, between you, your dealers, and your direct distributors, that you would have 1,017 points running through your business at the end of every month. And congratulations, you have a qualified business, right? All right. But do I know how much money you're making as a VF? I actually don't. And that's really hard to calculate. Because we would need to know how many of those trio orders were yours and how many of those came from your direct distributors and how many came from your new distributors, right? So that's a little bit difficult to calculate, but generally it's in the $200 to $300 range, okay? All right, but if you worked towards level 2, right, where you had those same 24 trio customers, but guess what? In level 2, you're developing that customer qualified business, so all 24 orders are yours. They come from your customers. Then we know that you'd be earning a minimum of $376 a month. That's not too shabby to start, right? As a VF, as just in that entry level in our marketing plan, right? Plus, if you fast track to VF, you likely, if you develop this self-qualified business, you likely just fast tracked to VF and earned probably about $350 in bonuses plus a conference ticket. All right, so that about doubles your income there. All right, so then let's look at level 3. All right, so what happens if you go for level 3 and you increase your personal customer base to about 40 trio customers, all right? That would generate 1,695. And do you remember I said we were looking for 1,600 there? Well, with 40 of your own trio customers, all installment customers, and that 1,695 in PBC, right? You definitely have a self-qualified business there, right? You'll be making a minimum of $627 a month, plus those bonuses you got for fast tracking, doing your 2,000 plus, your HLP, and that conference ticket. Now, that might not seem like a lot of money, right? It's definitely not going to retire you from your day job. But is there anyone on the call, you can kind of raise your hands, anybody on the call who wishes they had a little more money in their savings, right? Or wishes they had a savings right now? Okay, so think about this. What would be easier? To work on this and to work from having a qualified business with your team to developing your own qualified business on to developing this 1,600 qualified business. What would be easier? Building your own customer base of 40 trio customers, or finding a way to put $200,000 in the bank right now, right? Maybe in the next 2 to 3 months. Could you develop this $627 a month in the next 2 to 3 months? Or do you think you could go find $200,000 to put in the bank? Because guess what? That $627 income, that's like having $200,000 in the bank earning a 4% interest. So I know which one I think is easier. I know which one would be easier for you. It really puts it into perspective, doesn't it? Okay, and then this is what those numbers would look like if you did your fast track to sales coordinator. And what I really want you to notice is the difference between these two numbers. And this is why when I said we can help you get the best income experience possible by helping you fast track to sales coordinator as quickly as possible, this is why. And that's really exciting. Look at the difference between those two. There is so much money on the table, you guys. I love it. And we haven't even talked about the bonuses to get to fast track to sales coordinator, right? Okay, so how would you determine if you're qualified at the end of every month? How do you know if you're determined if you're qualified at the end of every month? Okay, so this is a sample PBC report, and if you don't know where to get yours, ask your upline, ask the person you're working with. But this is a sample PBC report for Mary Smith, and what you want to do is you want to look at column 4 for you and for everyone on your team, and column 4 gives you your level 1 qualification, and then for you and anyone on your team. And then look at column 6. You're going to look for 1,000, or you're going to look for level 2, and you're going to look for 1,600 for that level 3. Okay. So if you're pretty new to our business, find someone who can teach this to you, and then know that it's going to make sense at first, and then you're going to forget it. But over time, you will really begin to learn and understand these numbers. Okay. So let's go back. Okay, so there's column 4 and column 6. Okay, let's go back to this, but let's clean it up a little bit. And what I want to show you, I want to show you something really fun. So how many of you have begun to embrace Shred 10? Okay, if you have not yet begun to embrace Shred 10, I think that this might motivate you too. All right, so what if you were sitting here at level 2 and all 24 of your trio customers, what if they were just trio customers, but what if they added the shake? What if they decided to become Shred customers and they all upgraded just to the first package, the premium package, which is your trio of capsules and 1 shake a day? Well, that $376, guess what that becomes? It becomes $684. All right. And if you're sitting down here with 40 trio customers, and they all upgrade to the Shred Premium, which is again trio plus just 1 shake, that 627 becomes 1140. Okay, what if in an even more perfect world, they didn't go for the Shred Premium, they went for the Shred 10 package, which is the trio of capsules plus 2 shakes a day. Well, guess what? This 684, guess what that looks like? It becomes almost $1,000. You almost have a comma in your paycheck. And you probably do have a comma in your paycheck because you probably have other stuff going on in your business besides just these 24 trio orders, right? And then look what happens here. The 1140 becomes $1,660. That's pretty exciting. And you've now put a serious comma in your paycheck, right? On your way to $2,000 a month. So is anyone on this call motivated to start promoting Shred 10 or to learn how to do it, or maybe to promote it a little more, right? And that's just at the virtual franchisee level. I need to go in. I haven't gone in and figured out the sales coordinator numbers, but you can imagine how those sales coordinator numbers are going to duplicate. So if you're above the VF level, can you imagine if you had been making this when you were a VF, what your paycheck would be like now? It's kind of fun, right? And a little bit motivating. All right, so, but here's what's neat, you guys. Those numbers are peanuts. Those are peanuts. That $1,660 is peanuts because that's just your earnings on your customers. That's not that 5%. Do you remember at the beginning of the call, I talked about that 5% bonus that I told you would quickly become the biggest part of your paycheck? Well, where does that play in, okay? So let's look at this. Let's create a sample organization. Here's you at the top, and you sponsored A, and A sponsored B, and so on, right? And this is just one leg. You know, you're going to have multiple legs branching out here. We're just going to look at this one leg, okay? So let's assign some numbers here, right? So in that PVC column 4 that we're looking at, where I showed you, on your PVC report to look at column 4 for qualification, let's say at the end of the business month, these are the numbers that you see for these people. And what do you need to have to be qualified? You need 1,000, right? So you can see that I've highlighted the people who are qualified in red, okay? Now, do you remember the slide where I said you get paid 5% through 5 generations? Okay, here's what's really unique about our company, all right? Let's look at this. Most companies would pay, if they said 5% through 5 generations, they would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that would be it. You would get that 5% bonus on those first 5 generations. But we look at 5 generations of qualifiers. So what is a generation? What does that mean, a generation of qualifiers? Well, what that means is our little handy dandy computer at corporate goes into your report, and it looks down every leg until it comes to the first qualifier. So the first qualifier here is C, right? So guess what? Your first generation, right? There's your qualifiers. The first one. This is your first generation. So A, B, and C together make up your first generation. So you're going to be paid 5% on this entire generation of qualifiers. Okay, now the computer is going to keep looking, and D is qualified. So D becomes your second generation. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going down that same line. E is not qualified, but F is qualified. So E and F together become your third generation. G is your fourth generation. All right, this is really neat because before we maxed out up here, didn't we? But now we haven't even maxed out. With a leg this big, we haven't even maxed out in generations. So that's really exciting. And that's how that 5% can quickly become the biggest part of your paycheck. All right, so what happens when you duplicate that within your team, right? I mean, you saw on that slide when it duplicated with just a few people. Imagine now you've got another line with similar duplication going on. Each one of those qualifiers in that original line I just showed you, maybe they've got lines branching off and they're starting to duplicate qualifiers, right? So what happens when you duplicate your efforts and you teach others to qualify their businesses? How does that pay off? Well, this is a chart that most of you have probably seen. These are the company averages, just to give you an idea of what that duplication would look like. So let's say you have a qualified business and you have 1 to 2 people on your team qualifying. You could expect a monthly average income of about $500 or $6,000 per year. If you had a 3 club, right? Now we're going to introduce the concept of clubs. If you have a 3 club, clubs are when you start to really leverage your time by building solid qualifiers on your team. So a 3 club where you have 3 to 11 qualifying distributors on your team gives you an average monthly income of $1,250 or an average annual income of $15,000. That's a pretty nice residual income for helping people get healthy, right? For helping people with their health and with their finances. So it's a pretty nice residual income. But remember, these are company averages, and these were done before Shred 10 was actually promoting our products for us. And I really think of it that way. If you learn to follow our system, our Shred system guide, the Shred will promote your products for you. So remember, I already showed you that you could make a lot more money than this before you even had this kind of duplication going on, right? And I believe that these numbers, Shred is really taking off, and we're going to hear a lot more about it at our fall conference. So I believe that these numbers are going to be even higher over the next year as more and more people do embrace Shred 10. All right, so here's my question to you. Where would you like to be a year from now? This next year, right, from now until this month before fall conference in 2018, this next year is going to go by anyway, isn't it? Right? It's just going to fly by as fast as this year did. So why not set a goal for yourself, right? Why not work with your team to make a plan, fill it with fun activity, and why not create this kind of duplication? Can you imagine how many lives you would touch? Imagine if you had 40 of your own customers and you taught everyone on your team to turn around and duplicate that and touch the lives of 40 people in their own circle of influence, right? What would happen? At the end of the day, right, this business, network marketing, it's all about leveraging your time because it's all about how many families you and your team are helping with their health, right? So what could you do? How many families could you help get healthy in the next year? How many families could you help with their finances in the next year? All right, so there's qualification in a nutshell. I know there was a lot of info in there, and there are probably a lot of those pieces that you'd like to dig into more. We have all kinds of resources in the mission-driven model, and your team can help you with that. But I really want to thank all of you for taking your time tonight to learn about this. And Nikki and Chris, thank you again for inviting me.
Ellen, thank you so much for being with us. I want to make one statement. We've gone over just a teeny bit, but it's so worth it. I already got a couple texts from people saying this is awesome. And I know that they're going to watch it several times because for those people that have problems with numbers or it's hard, this is perfect. We've got the recording. But I know that you are often called the cold market queen. And you said something to me today, and if I get it wrong, I think at one point you said you had 7 qualifying legs to you and 3 or 4, whatever it was, POB legs. But of those 7 qualifying legs, I think you told me that either 3, 4, or 5 of them were people you didn't originally know. Is that true?
Close. So when I went National Marketing Director, I had 8 frontline sales coordinator legs. 7 of those 8 were total strangers when they joined my business.
7 of the 8?
7 of the 8.
Strangers. So for those of you who don't think that you think you need to know the people to build this business, you don't. So it's a matter of talking to new people, and we don't have time for Ellen to talk about how she talks to people. Maybe a different call, we can have her teach us how she is the cold market queen. But I just wanted to point that out, going National Marketing Director, what that was for Ellen. I think that's really important. So would all of you unmute yourself? I'm going to put this on here for us. Whoops, wrong thing. Uh-oh, gallery view. There we go. Would all of you unmute yourself and just really give a really hot, warm thank you to Ellen for all that she's done for us tonight. And I know that people are going to watch this recording over and over again. We love you, Ellen.
Thank you. Thank you, Ellen. Bye.
Great. Welcome. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Have a great evening. Go out there and qualify your business. It's the gateway to everything.
Yeah.
Thank you.